Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. One more look at Avalanche, seeing what's going on here, double checking a few key factors. Super awesome stuff here, folks. We took a long position with AVAX, 32% in 11, basically 12 hours from yesterday. So as I mentioned yesterday, that low $50 range is a pretty solid consideration for a long, between 50 and 49. And what do you know, the price went up here to local highs at about 55.79. So what we want to talk about here today is, well, liquidation levels, see if there's anything left to the upside, if there's potential for pullback on this coin, or just more importantly, what in the heck's going on here, right? Because we are in a nice ascending trend line here. There's no reason to short against it. While the price could pull back and likely will at some point, it may not be right now. And we're going to double check that. So we'll have to update our fib levels. I'll post a playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord if you're not familiar. Looks a little something like this, where I just kind of give you, an identification of what I feel like the coin's going to do next. Obviously, it needs to pull up first to do that, but that is all there for you if you want it. Let's take a quick look at the back end data here and kind of recognize where we're at here. First of all, last 7 days of liquidation, we can recognize there's still a lot to the upside. These high leverage shorts do not seem to learn. They keep adding to their position as the price goes up, and they keep getting swept here. So we keep getting a lot of destruction to the upside. Less so to the downside, but more to the up. In other words, we have more people probably shorting this coin than taking longs, at least as far as high leverage shorts that don't last very long. So try not to be another statistic. I know these people are probably like the kind that'll post on social media that they had a 50x leverage short with AVAX, to the ground floor. They're going to keep showing and keep posting updates because the trade is still open, even though they've closed most of it. It's not what you do, folks, that defines you. It's why you do what you do that makes the biggest difference here. And to me, you should be trading for yourself to learn and become more self-sufficient. Most of my traders aspire to do this full-time themselves. I've been doing it full-time for quite a while, and I can tell you it's a great life. But you got to be patient, you got to be consistent, and just throwing meat against the wall, seeing if it sticks, isn't really a good strategy. Either way, liquidation to the upside, high leverage shorts, all there at about 56.50. So the price gets a little closer to that $55 range. I think 56.50 is a very logical place to consider securing profits, or just to see at least one more candle wake up. Either way, from a macro perspective, there's a lot of liquidation on the downside. This does imply that our liquidation delta is more bullish than bearish. This is generally a favorable sign. You want to take longs into this in most cases. Now, Bitcoin right now is deciding if it wants to break its 95K support at pretty much exactly 94.7. So today's kind of a funny day. We also got, I think Jerome Powell is giving a speech of some sort too. So we might see some volatility, but the best strategy for situations like this is just to kind of avoid trading. But I know that's not why you're here. You want to find out what's going to happen next with our AVAX trade, and or do you want to take a new trade? What is the consensus there? And the short answer is probably no trade is the best trade. I'm always going to err on the side of caution there. But again, it really depends on your overall macro perspective and what you plan to get out of this coin. So having said that, though, 51.70, round number $52 is that local open interest. Secondary to that, roughly 48.70. So we talked about 49 being a support, and that $50 range. It's kind of right here. That's an area of support for us there. More specifically between 45 and 49. That's like a heavier support range. But a tentative support on the upper side there, or lower now that we're up above the price action, is about $49. Okay, so let's take a look at the daily time frame, work our way down. Just to give you some perspective, there are some support and resistance levels we want to be mindful of, so we're just going to pull these out here and just kind of identify that they could be areas of support if the price pulls back to those levels. Again, we just saw multiple days in a row where the price action had difficulty crossing this level. That reinforces that as a potential support or resistance, depending which side we're on. Same thing here as well. A little less price action in the $60 range, but still, nonetheless, couldn't close above 60, 63, for example. Okay, so I just pulled those out here, just give us perspective. Let's look at the daily, work our way down. Just kind of recognize where we're at here. First of all, we have every confirming factor not to take a short position and to leave your long position open. That's basically the macro here. Again, do you take trades solely on macro? No, but if your long-term position for AVAX is to hold it for a longer period of time, you probably find a lot more benefit not selling right now. Once again, that's just kind of what it's telling us. Can it pull back to different levels? Yes. Will it pull back? Likely, at some point. Between now and then, though, we got to recognize what's obvious here. First of all, we got fair value gap as low as 45. That reinforces that support at $45. But I'm actually going to round up and say 46 because it's 45.72. easier to say 46, but everything else is looking great, right? We're above all moving averages. There's no reason to expect the price action to pull back, especially now that we've increased our volume here. As this volume continues to maintain itself, folks, we're probably going to see the price sustain itself and go higher. But again, a lot of different scenarios exist here at this point. So let's look at the 4-hour and clarify a couple things here first. When we look at the 4-hour time frame, we can see that we are right here where 70 is, on the RSI keeps rejecting the price action. This is actually perfect. It creates healthy staircase patterns. ICP's got the exact same scenario where the price action doesn't overextend itself. It goes up, comes over, pulls back a little, and just does the same thing over again. It's a nice healthy staircase. So if you kind of look at the charts here, it's a little easier to see if I kind of zoom out here, but a healthy continuation is one that does this, right? Keeps going up and over with small corrections that still honor ascending trends. That's really what you want to look for in a trade. So that's half the reason why I felt confident in taking a trade with this coin yesterday, even though Bitcoin was still not quite sure what it wants to do. And this coin, AVAX, was probably one of the strongest ones as a result of what was going on in the market. It's a testament to how well it's going to continue to do until it doesn't. Okay, so until we discontinue this trend, there's no reason to bet against it. Really, it's that simple. That's how easy trading can be. Again, it's easy in one way, but super challenging in another. The biggest challenge you're going to have is in your own mind, and that is basically just not getting shaken out with weak hands or using too high a leverage and not really figuring it out that you probably shouldn't be risking the biscuit every single time you trade. If you're using more than 5% of your total portfolio per trade, I feel sorry for you. And the reason why is because you haven't learned maybe that hard lesson yet, that your account will get almost instantly deleted if you continue to use high leverage or large position sizes. Okay, now again, if you have $1 million portfolio and you're using 5,000 per trade, that's a different story, right? That's actually pretty good. But if you are using, 10,000 per trade and you got a $20,000 account, you're gonna get your ass handed to you. Anyways, if it hasn't happened yet, I'm sorry. I hope it happens soon just so you can learn and move on, because everyone that's a good trader has deleted their account a few times. I used to do it back with crude oil and natural gas back in the day with traditional markets, and I got kind of tired of it, so I stuck to a plan, and here we are. Anyways, what I want to get at here on the hourly is that we are above the cloud, lagging spans free and clear, conversion lines over the baseline. These are all extremely positive, bullish signs. You don't short into that, okay? And if you haven't caught my Ichimoku Cloud instructional video, feel free to watch that so you know what I'm referring to here, but it's a really good confirming indicator on smaller time frames, okay? So I highly recommend checking that out if you haven't already. We had a bull flag setup. We got into our entry right here. We took profit, I think, right here and right here, if I'm not mistaken. We've hit 2 targets so far. So again, good stuff. Again, every time we take a trade, we have a plan, right? You have a plan of action. You know what you're going to get out of it. It's always clear and concise. And that's what you should do for yourself every time. If you're jumping into a trade because you feel good about it today and then tomorrow you maybe feel bad because it's in the red, that's not a good strategy. You're kind of shooting from the hip. You don't really know what you're doing, okay? The key takeaway here is that if you're going to be trading, trade like a professional. Trade it like it's your full-time job. You don't have to dedicate full-time hours to it, although it helps. You just got to treat it, professionally. I mean, would a professional risk their entire asset on one thing? No, it makes no sense. Diversify in a small way. So either way, that's what we got here. Easy way to understand this is that this coin, AVAX in particular, hasn't proven to be it hasn't shifted bearish at all. It's going to be a few days away from that, honestly, too. It's going to take a while for it to confirm that. So between now and then, continue to look for these healthy staircase patterns. Keep buying at support. Every time the price comes back down to retest the support, it's going to continue to come higher. So my speculation is that this local high here, right here at roughly 52.25 is a new low, and we're likely to pivot off that level and continue higher. We kind of already have in a way, too, right? Again, just little things we look for. I'm going to post our playout chart, an updated playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord that has these parameters on it for you. If you want to join us over at Bitunix too, folks, link down below. $12,000 deposit bonus this month. We had a 60K prize pool last month spread amongst the top 20 traders. They are really good about growing their user base because they take good care of their members. Okay, no KYC or VPN. These guys are awesome. Be sure to check them out if you haven't already. It's our community favorite. So I hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Thanks again for your time. Take care.